Radios play this remix. This is the remix. Every project.
I know you know me, I see it in your eyes. But you keep on fighting what you feel from your mind. Cause each and every time you need me, you give me signs. When I ask you what's the deal, you hold on tight. You wanna be with me, you gotta keep it real. Tell me what's going on, tell me how you feel. Oh, I know you want me just as much as I want you. So come get my love, I'm here for you. Baby, say no, 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 no. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no.
Come on. This is where we bounce.
You pretend as if you don't. When you get home, you call me on the phone and tell me how much you care.
When I saw you walking, I couldn't believe my eyes. After we started talking, I knew I needed you in my life.
Come on, I want you to jingle with me.
Spin you like a sports car. Shanta got big lips and handlebars. Put it on Tim like a pony. Run back the tape.
Kahuna.
I wish you would up me just a little
sooner.
So now rich, like silver schooner. I got you. I wish you would have did that 2 years ago.
Yo.
Let me feel the body hit the skin, yo.
Yo.
Now you see a brother make a little dough.
Yo.
I really hate that mess, but I love you, yo.
Come on. Make it.
Welcome. Let's go.
Wait by Leonardo, make all the Luciano and girls with condo, Chanel with the Tano. Girl, my
Hey Leila, thanks for joining.
black and white keys, lay girls on my piano.
House of Taz, welcome. Sokanarmix. What's going on, brother? Ritzeroni.
Put up in my lingo, B9 girl, I'm bingo. Help I see a beetle cool out, that's only Ringo. Missy sang a jangle as I commence the tango. Genuine riding on a pony, put money in the middle. Check the riddle, got your girl pants hot a little. Thinking that she's on when you only just a nickel. Take a tickle, cause the man, pickle green and ridiculous.
Gio deserves a lot more.
Down south and Hickle. Black house shoes, my cane go to match. Pimp rap.
What up, Chico? What up, Momo?
Girl, I'm the P, see me on TV. DB, hook me up with your girl CC. Female, looky here, ship you there. Let me get one kiss, just don't go tell. You so absurd, I thought you heard.
Chico, my brother.
We make it bounce. We make it bounce. We make it.
Deb, let's go.
Dogs at?
Come on.
Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at?
What the deal?
Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at?
What's going on, Lex? I'm good, Layla.
Deal. Everybody put your hands in the air. Everybody put your hands in the air. Everybody put your hands in the air. And wave them just like you don't care. Everybody put your hands in the air. Everybody put your hands in the air. Everybody put your hands in the air. And wave them just like you just don't care. Hey yo, everybody put your hands in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. Hey yo, everybody put your hands in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. Hey yo, wave them like you just don't care. Hey yo, wave them like you just don't care. Hey yo, wave them like you just don't care. Just don't care.
Welcome.
Oh, na, 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 na,
A tribute to my friend, the legend, the one and only X-Man, Sean Sachs.
Who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I?
sugar. How can I make love to a fella in a rap? Pass me the keys to my truck. Who am I?
Thanks for the raid, Drew. Spanish Mommy, Curious, Natty Naz, Rich Footy. Filipo, thank you. Rev up, what's going on, man? Lisa, what's going on? Darren, what's up? Aloha. Nice, Justin. Universal Mist.
A boy try play a dolly house with me, girl, me with the pin face, in face. Cause we are with a sergeant, a general, we with the pin face, in face. A boy try this with me.
What's up, T? Love you, girl. Skinny Trini.
Dog, I talk to a federal, we with the pin face, in face. I got one life to live and we not be no punk. When I make the boy make we sleep on a bunk. We under we.
What's up, Teddy?
You coulda get a magnum trunk. A boy try play a dolly house with girl we with the in face, in face. No care if a sergeant or a general we with the in face, in face. A boy try this where we play the general and the in face, in face. I'm dog, we federal we with the in face. Sing it.
You're listening to the first mixtape me and Sean Sachs ever made with the one and only MC Slim. Hands of music. We're playing that in the background. Purple Queen, thank you so much for the love, sunshine.
What's up, man? That girl they call Roxanne. Forget about what's up with one nana. You a dealer? She see me in my paper. The only thing I'm saying now is work is for the paper. She said, "Mama, say I'm a me, I'm a Westie Cypher." She looked at me and laughed and said, "You far." Woo! She kinda made me wonder, did the girl catch the paper?
Day one, Bruno Tessa, what's up? You know, this mix in the background is 20 years old. Or even more. Skinny Trini, Aaron, what up? Teddy, Flame. Yeah, man.
You listen to the sound of hands and music with Bubba Kahn, Sean Sachs, starting from scratch. MC Slim, Soul Track, Kidnap, come on, bam.
Thank you, Agatha. We're just gonna vibe with this for a little bit. Let's go.
Be the man, wanna see you doing good.
What's up, Mensa?
Bitch, leave you in the hood. Girl, in my eyes, you the baddest. The reason why I love you, you don't like me cause my status. I don't wanna see you with a carriage.
Chico.
I wanna do my
Man, I wish I could do more.
and I don't want you rocking them fabrics. Girl, I wanna give you carriage till you feel you're a rabbit.
Listen, I want to welcome everybody. Sorry, my head's not in the game right now, but I want to welcome everybody. We're celebrating the... Give me a sec. right, guys. So listen, I want to thank you for all of you being here today. This is not the occasion you want to celebrate, but it's important to celebrate the people that have done something for you in your life. And I think we spend a lot of time not telling people while they're alive how important they are. And for me, this show right now, it's not about the music. I think for me, it's about setting the record straight. And talking about listen, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be a DJ. My career, like, there's no lying about it. There's nothing, like, my career solely works because of Sean Sachs. That's it. There's no, like, this person did this person, someone taught me this, someone taught me that. Of course, there's other people that supported me along the way. But my mentor and my inspiration and the one that meant the most to me was Sean Sachs. So I want to talk about stories. I want to play some of his mixtapes, and some of you may be like, you know, why am I here? What to think? I think people get confused about what a DJ is nowadays. And I think it's easy to be a DJ nowadays. Well, they make it easier. Getting the music, teaching you the mixes. Everything's kind of done for you. 8 bars, 4 bars, remixes. Oh, shit, you don't even have to be a DJ anymore. You can just fake it all you want on TikTok and all that good stuff. But as a true pioneer in the Toronto scene, you have to go back. You have to go back years. And I'm talking about years. We're talking about, I'm like, almost 30 years. I was a young buck. And Sean's a little older than me. I was a young buck. I was doing my thing. I was doing myself. I was playing house music and a little bit of hip hop, and I was going all over the place. And I met a guy by the name of Daryl Dark who, you know, good or bad, had a lot to do with how I met Sean, because when I met Daryl, he talked about doing some radio shows and stuff together. I was doing parties with him, and he says, I have this guy I want you to link up with. Want you to meet, and I'm going to do this live tear. Now, when he said live tear for me, like, you got to remember, you're going back 27 years ago. Shit, I don't even know if someone can tell me my math. 94 is when I started with Sean. So what year are we in? 2021? I don't know math. I wasn't good at math. Shit, I wasn't good at anything. But anyways, that was it. And the first time I met Sean Sachs, I was in awe of Sean. His smile is huge. He's got a bright smile, but he's a very chill dude. And for the people, 27 years. Thank you, Shanti. So I was right about something there. But I'll tell you right now, Sean had this big smile, and I met him. And Daryl said, hey, you two are going to be partners. We're going to do the show Rec Shop Radio. So here I am. And listen, I'm an Indian kid. I love my hip hop. I love my house music. I loved all that good stuff. But I was a rookie. Like, I was a rookie. What up, Paul? Teddy? And Sean smiled at me. And Sean was smiling at me and laughing with me. When I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. He laughed. He said, oh, it's okay. I got you, Baba. I got you, Baba. Don't worry. It's okay. It's good. We're good. And that was it. That's like, I wish there was a deeper story, but that's how I met Sean Sachs. Now, the story after that gets way deeper and way longer, because we went on this, I don't know what you want to call it. I get on this 10-year run in the prime days of the club days. Now, a lot of people listening on Twitch, or if you're not from Toronto, the 90s, and I would say the 90s, maybe the 80s and the 90s were the golden era of nightclubs in Toronto. Okay, there was you didn't have bottle service. You didn't have social media telling you where to go. You had to give out flyers. You had to send mailers. You had to call people. That was the golden era. So when you're in the golden era of clubs, it's a lost art now. And I'm not knocking the clubs now. It's cool. Do what you got to do. But when some people own clubs and they're smaller and there's like 100, 200 people in there, it's great. But to me, that's more of a gathering, not a nightclub. Because back in the day, no, you had 1,000, 2,000, 1,500 people ram up in one spot. Now that's a party. So listen, we did a show called Rec Shop Radio. It was live on 93.7 WBLK. Now, this is before we even had an urban station in Toronto. In fact, Toronto wasn't even thinking urban. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're not some groundbreaking city that was all for hip-hop and all that. No. And I can tell you right now, the nightclub scene was not for hip-hop either. And this is the truth. So whether you want to believe it or you don't want to believe it, I'm not really here to argue that. I'm just here to let you know about my experiences with this man. So, Rec Shop Radio was created. Now, the brainchild behind that was not me, was not Sean, it was Daryl Dark. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. He's the brainchild behind Rec Shop Radio. Whether I agree with him or I don't agree with him, it's irrelevant. He was the brainchild behind it. That was his thing, and it was a monster. So we were doing this kind of show, with this Rec Shop Radio show, and was live on radio. And I didn't, at the time, I'll be honest, I didn't realize what we were doing. I was so young, and I took Sean's lead. So the one thing he taught me, or the one thing they said on Rec Shop, he's like, you got to play differently. So when someone says, hey, play differently, I'm like, what do you want me to play differently? What do you mean you want to play differently? So me and Sean had to come up with a unique style that we thought was creative, right? So I had no ideas, but Sean said, what do you like to do? And I said, I'm aggressive. I really like to play fast, and I like to go stuff and do stuff. He's like, okay, so why don't we just kind of work off each other? So I didn't know what that meant, but what he was trying to tell me was, he's like, I'll play 2 songs back and forth, and you get 2 tracks ready. So you tell me what you want to do with those songs. Now, you don't understand DJing, so there's 2 songs playing, and then I would grab 2 vinyls. So let's say I would grab 2 vinyls. I got my vinyl here, and then I would wait ready. And when he was done what he was doing, I'd whip my vinyl on right away and be quick. Either do a mix, do a cut, do an acapella, and I'd tell him what I was doing. So I'd say, hey, I'm just going to sample the track. I'd sample a track, and I'd take it off. So he'd be getting quick and ready too. So now, as much as I like to say it was a natural gift, me and him practice. Yeah, practice. Hey, DJs, remember that? When you had to practice? Yeah, we practice. Me and Sean practiced. So we practiced this stuff. Okay, so it wasn't easy. So we had to practice so that people could really understand the vibe. Now, I can tell you right now, it wasn't easy. Because you're trying to figure out each other, but you don't know each other. Now remember, I'm a rookie. So I wasn't so well versed. He's deep. Now if you know Sean, sorry, I'm just going to sometimes put the music up because I know the mixes he did.
Come over here, I think I see you, baby brother. Here go the numbers to my casa. If you in the rush,
this is a remix he did on the mixtape.
I got the whole enchilada. Just the way you like it, make you proper. Girl, I can tell you was meant for me. I can tell by the way you were sent to me. While I'm on tour trying to make sense to me.
We talking about practice, Bruno.
You better mention me. If you don't, you know you got a problem. Said you want no beef, girl.
Woo! So we were practicing. And I'll tell you honestly, it wasn't easy. Because I couldn't read him and he couldn't read me. But the thing with Sean is, he's calm. And that's the thing, I'm telling you, that's the saving grace for my career. He was so calm, cool, and collected. Like, I can tell you, I was an annoying kid. I was an annoying kid. But Sean kept it so real. He kept it so real. There was no issues. He's like, okay, Baba, I'm going to teach you. So he taught me. When the track ends, the verses, the acapellas, the choruses, the breaks, used to mark my vinyl. It was him. Like, I can't sit there and pretend like I did it all. It was him. It was Sean Sachs, the X-Men Sean Sachs. Okay? That's what it was. It was Sean Sachs teaching me how to DJ. And the more calm he was in his approach with me, the easier it got for me. All right, so if you go from being 16, 17, 18 to having 900 people in front of you playing on front of on a radio station in Buffalo, New York, that's coming to Toronto, and being only 4 or 5 years deep, it's a lot of pressure. So I think all that happening at that time amounted to a lot. There was a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. But Sean, man, he made it easy. Now, if you guys know Sean, and some of you guys do know Sean, if you know Sean Sachs, that man could play it all. I'll tell you right now. I was good with hip hop, R&B, a touch of reggae, and house. Sean could play it all. R&B, Motown, old school, disco, reggae, calypso, booty music, slow jams. Sean could play the whole gambit of music. That's why I thought we were calling him X-Man. To be honest, I don't know why they even called him X-Man. I thought he was X-Man because he was like a superhero. He could play it all. That's honestly why they gave me the name Creative Native. But they gave him the name X-Man, and I thought that's why they gave him the name X-Man. Yeah, Miami, bass booty, and 2 Live Crew, and all that. Skinny Trini, that's right. Sean wanted it, and that's what I'm talking about. Sean was all about success.
Put him up, come on. Hey, look here. First of all, I want to welcome all y'all broke-ass entrepreneurs to the Players Club.
So when they called me the Creative Native, I was like, what the hell? Sean's like, just go with it, Bubba, who cares? Okay, so listen. Here we are. We're doing Rec Shop Radio. This is on 93.7 WBOK. And listen, people, like I said, you may not be from Toronto, but we didn't have an urban station. Flow 93.5 didn't come out for another 10, 15 years. So talking about being ahead of the curve. Okay, we were way ahead of the curve there. Okay, so we did that. Now the thing with Sean is, he taught me so much about things, and I think this is important as a DJ. So nowadays DJs have cue pads, they have cue buttons like this. You can go to a track, skip it where you want to skip a track. You can do anything. You can cue things up. You can roll it. You could do anything. But back then, you couldn't do that stuff. So Sean taught me a couple of things. Sean taught me, it's very important. Now, a lot of DJs don't want to play warm-up music because they don't like being warm-up. But Sean taught me that warm-up music is how you learn about your crowd. I was like, Sean, I want to learn how to scratch. I want to go back and forth, and I want to do this and that. He's like, yo, shut up. Learn how to play. Learn how to read a crowd. Learn how to watch people. Learn to see what they're doing. So I learned. And that's where I learned. That's where I learned the art of reading a crowd. And I think people get lost in that art form. And some of you listening to this might be like, okay, man, this is boring, whatever the case may be. But it's a lost art form. Because sometimes you'll go out and listen to a DJ and he'll scratch you and be like, oh, that's amazing. Okay, but you forgot about the dancing part. You forgot that people are listening to you. And there's no knock on that because there's some talented, in fact, I can't get into some of those talented DJs. That's what I wanted. But Sean taught me about the importance of being a real DJ, playing music, getting it out there. Like there was no iPods and all that stuff. I think there was Walkmans back then. But that's what it was. That was the goal. So not only did we have the goal of playing music live on radio, we also had the luxury of busting music out there. So we get our record pools. Record pools, people. Record people. So when I got those record pools, I know Pauly Lopez would be in a record pool. I mean, a pool with BLK. We get so much vinyl. I know there's a lot of DJs in here. Who would get a lot of vinyl. Sean Sachs would make me listen to every single vinyl. Every piece. Because there was gems. There was hidden gems in there. And I wasn't giving them the time of day. I'm like, oh, what came out? I want this. I want the Biggie. Or I want this. I want the Bad Boy. I want the Wu-Tang Clan. He's like, no, listen. Listen to the other artists. Listen to the R&B. And that's what he taught me. So I would have to sit there, and every time we got a record shipment, he's like, what did you listen to? And I'd be like, oh, I listened to a couple songs. He's like, yo, did you listen to this track? And I'd be like, yeah, it's okay. And he's like, shut up, Bubba. I know you didn't listen to it. And I'm like, yeah, I listened to it. And he's like, you did not listen to it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I didn't listen to it. But he's right, I didn't listen. But when I started listening, the tracks were dope. And that's what a real DJ is supposed to do. We're there to educate. And I think that gets lost. That art form gets lost. And Sean taught me that. Like, I think Sean Sachs, I think that people don't realize, and I think, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. People around me now don't realize, but I think people in the scene do realize how important he was, because you can see the love he's gotten all over the place. So I'll tell you this much right now. When we were playing all the music and playing all that stuff, then he tried to get me out of my comfort zone. He's like, okay, now Bubba, I know you're good with the hip hop and the R&B. I need you to play some reggae, soca, and some booty. I'm like, sorry, what do you want me to play? He's like, I want you to play some booty music. I'm like, you want me to play booty music? I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But he made me do it. He made me do it live on air. That's what I'm talking about. Trial by fire? Woo! Sean wasn't messing around. But here's the thing. With Sean, I felt like I could do it. Because there was a guy right there waiting to, like, it's like, I felt like I had I don't know what the word is, but I felt like I had a parachute. So if I was falling, I could just pull the parachute, Sean would be to save me. But sometimes he wouldn't save me. And that's what I thought, because there's sometimes I was messing up, and I would look at him, and he would be like, no, go, keep going. So these are the things that people don't know and people don't see. That's kind of how I became this DJ. Now, whether you like me good or bad, whether you think I'm good or bad, I've had a 30-year run of success. So I owe that to him. So I'm not looking for validation. I'm looking for, I just need to say the things I need to say about Sean. I think that's important. And I think people listening have to understand how important he was for that scene. Now listen, I'll tell you something else. As much as people like to think, like, I think, some people don't know, like, Sean was a sweetheart. Sean had a wicked side to him too. Sean could battle. You piss Sean off, he'd take you out. Right? So listen, there's no denying when we were playing, there was Bubba Kahn, Sean Sachs. I might forget some names here. Help me out here. There was starting from scratch. They're still around. Baby Blue Sound Crew. There's so many other DJs out there, but I'm thinking of some of the main ones. Somebody in the chat help me out there. I'm forgetting some names here. Ritz, are you still there? Someone help me out there. We got Bubba Kahn, Sean Sachs. There's Ebony Sound Crew. It was a Trini Blood. Ebony Sound Crew, yeah, that's right. There was a lot. Skimpy Boy, Baby U. Baby U and those guys came later. They weren't around from that time. There was a later. Jake's, Aristotle doing his thing. Craig Nice. Oh, yes, Craig Nice. There were some DJs out there. There were some good DJs. But here's the thing. And I think people fail to realize this. I was a young Indian kid. And I'm saying this not lightly, but being young and Indian back in the 90s and trying to do urban music, they're already tough enough on urban people altogether in the club scene. Like, this is not I'm not going to get into the whole race factor and stuff like that. It was tough enough. But he made sure I was comfortable and that I never felt out of place. Yes, Rewind and Play. So many great DJs. Chico U. There's a legend right there. He's in it. And I worked, Carl Allen. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. This is what you know. And, like, here's the best part. You know how I know Sean was the same human being from when I first met him? Because ever since I've heard the horrible news on Friday of his passing, I've gotten so many messages. So many messages. And they say the same thing. His smile, he wanted to help everybody. He was an amazing soul, amazing, he understood music and all that. So he never changed. Now you got to think about it. Being thrusted into the spotlight like I was with Sean, he was so calm and cool about it. I was excited. I was like a chicken with his head cut off. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Every minute I could get, I was excited about it. He was cool and calm and collected, and that's kind of how I stayed calm. Now listen, this is you may laugh at this one, but there was a lot of people around me back then into drugs, into all sorts of things. I'm not here to knock anybody, but it's Sean that kind of kept my head straight. I grew up in the club scene at 18 when drugs are still rampant, all that nonsense, but he kept my head straight. Don't do that shit. Stay away from that shit. It was Sean Sachs. And a little bit of my upbringing, of course. I can tell you, I did an event with Sean Sachs once. I'm not going to name the club. It's about 3 years into our career. Packed nightclub. And all of a sudden, the lighting guy came in. The lighting guy came in, and I was playing, and Sean was sitting next to me, or standing next to me. And somebody threw cocaine on the turntable and snorted it, and then threw another line on it. And I'm not whatever. You're fancy. I don't give a shit. But threw another line on it for me. And it's like, let's go, kid. Sean just looked at him, looked at me, picked up the vinyl, dusted it off, and put it back down and said, let's go to work. Now, I'm young, I'm impressionable. So if I wanted to, and if he said, hey, Bubs, do this, who knows? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Like, you just don't know. Right? I can tell you stories about guys who did that and they're not there, but listen, that was Sean Sachs. Now, when it comes to music selection, that's where we had a difference of opinion there. I was always looking for impact, playing music, hitting people. Sometimes he loved it too, don't get me wrong, but sometimes he wanted to build up a groove and get things going, and sometimes I would come and play a little differently. I mean, that was the partnership, and that's part of a partnership is understanding each other and knowing when to go with the vibe and not when to go with the vibe. I learned that later. Sean had to teach me that. So that was really important to me. Right? That was a huge part of understanding that. Now, I can tell you this much. When it came to being young and being influenced by other people around me, club owners, other promoters. I wasn't a promoter yet, remember this. I was just a rookie DJ. He helped me learn the rules of the game. He helped me to learn to stand up for myself. Don't let anyone push me around. So, when I'm doing this and when I'm talking about these are the things I failed to tell him. So, these are the things that frustrate me as I heard the news. Now, listen, it's no secret. The last time I saw Sean was 2018, 2019. He came to see me at Dream Nightclub. And I was happier than a pig in shit with Sean. I was so happy to see him because I hadn't seen him in years. So there's no secret that it's not like we were close after years later. And now that this happened, but there's a connection to Sean that's never going to change how I felt about him as an individual and a human being. So learning that, and with Sean, the biggest thing about Sean when I was doing Rec Shop Radio is he gave me the idea He's like, Bubs, we need to do some things. And I said, what are you talking about? Now, I'm going to give you a very important lesson. I learned this very early on in my career from Sean Sachs. We were at Club Tropicana, which I'm sure nobody remembers. If you remember Club Tropicana, then you're an old G. Scratch, do you remember Club Tropicana? That the drunk owner who used to walk around in his pajamas? I don't know if you remember that. Oh, Soca Marks, do you remember? So we're at Club Tropicana, then we moved to so Scratch knows Tropicana. So we moved to Industry. And Industry is known for it is a household name for house music and some of the biggest DJs to ever hit Toronto. So if you know Industry nightclub, that's a legendary spot. All right? I don't know why am I forgetting it? Who am I forgetting there from? Who am I forgetting from Industry? Matt. Oh my God, guys, help me out here. I'm forgetting it. Matt. Scratch, Polly, someone help me here. Gavin, yes, but what? The DJ, Matt C. Sorry, guys. Matt C, Gavin, and all those guys with the house stuff and everything back then. So, what I didn't realize at the time was we were DJing, we were doing things. Matt C, there he is. Yes. Tyrone, Matt C, some house legends. So when we got the call to do Industry nightclub, I was shook. Sean was shook, and Sean doesn't shake easy. So Sean goes, "Yo, Bubs, we're going to Industry. This is the real deal." I don't know if you guys know about Industry, but Industry is the real deal. Industry has a washroom in the DJ booth. Okay, a washroom in the DJ booth. That's how you know DJs made it, because they didn't want you to leave. They wanted you to play music in there. Yeah, so we're doing Industry. Sean takes me out. He takes me out to the stage. Industry had a big stage. There's about 800-900 people there dancing.
Yo, Bubba.
Oh,
come on, you gotta remix.
Hold on. What's this?
Baby, when we're crying, so excited.
Feel so good, so real.
So,
Got more than $5 in your pocket.
Slim. Yo, Scratch, you remember this mixtape, Hands of Music? You're on side, I think side A, we were on side B. That's what's playing right now in the background. Okay, so listen. He takes me by the shoulder, got his arm around me. Sean's like this. And he goes, "Bubba, do you see what I see?" And I said, "Yeah, Sean." "Yeah, you see what I see?" I said, "Yeah, those 3 girls in the corner. God damn it, they're hot." "No, Bubba." I said, "You see what I see?" I said, "What do you see?" I said, "Yeah, man, it's 900 people here for us." I was an arrogant son of a bitch. I was like, "They're all here for you and me, Sean. Yeah." He's like, no, Bubba. Look carefully. He's like, and this is not a bad thing. He said, they're not all black. Half of them are Indian. And I said, so? He's like, I've been DJing for a while and I've never seen that at a nightclub doing hip-hop and R&B and reggae and all that. He's like, you're doing something right. So people say to me at that point, I was like, oh, this is really cool. But what happened was Sean gave me the idea. He's like, we can be bigger than this. We can do more than this. So I took a journey to a club. It's funny, you can hear all the background, picking up Carl Allen Scratch in the background there. I took a trip to a club named Power Bar. Now, if you remember Power Bar, do me a favor. If you were part of Power Bar, put a 1 up in the chat. If you know what Power Bar was about, do me a favor, put a 1 up in the chat. I need to know if you know what Power Bar is.
Come on.
Yeah. So, woo! I took a trip to Power Bar. And I thought to myself, if Sean thinks I can draw people, then maybe I can draw people. So I walked into a place called Power Bar. I went to see the owner. I didn't have a meeting. I didn't have anything planned. I walked in. I think 19 years old, 20 years old. Said, "Can I speak to the owner, please?" Yeah. Do you have a meeting, or do you have a meeting plan? I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So he's like, "Okay, come sit in the office." I sat in the office. Mitch Winthrop, oh my God, legend. I went in the office and I sat down and I say, "Hey, I'd like to do a Saturday night." Now, at the time, I didn't realize I was talking to the busboy. I thought he was the owner. It was an Italian owner. I think Mario and somebody else at the time. So anyways, after I finished talking to the busboy and giving him my whole spiel of why we should do this Saturday night, the ceilings would drip, yeah. They would totally drip. Ah, the good old days. So I went in there, and then the owner walked in. The owner took one look at me, one look at the security guard, gave him a nod.
This is the sounds of hands and music with Bubba Kahn, Sean Sax, MC Slim on the mic. Special shout out going out to Rockers On. Watch out for this kid. He's gonna be Chris Stalin for you.
Woo! Took one look at me and escorted me out.
Remix, come on.
Now, if you're 20 years old and someone lets you talk for all of 1 second and escorts you out, would you go back? Being the arrogant bastard I wasn't going back. Hell no, I wasn't going back. But the person who made me go back was Sean Sax. Sean Sax. Bubba, what's up? Yo, man, that guy was an asshole. That guy was a piece of shit. He didn't let me talk. He didn't let me finish. He's like, "So? What's your problem?" I'm like, "Yo, he didn't let me finish. He didn't let me talk." He's like, "Did you tell him what was going on?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, well, you need to go back and show him." I'm like, "Not going back and showing him. You need to go back and show him." "Sean, I'm not going back and showing him." "Shut up, Bubba. Go back and show him." "I'm not doing it." "All right, no problem. You don't have to do it. But guess what?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "You got to play the reggae and the booty set this weekend if you don't talk to him." I'm like, "Shit. I can't play that booty stuff. And I can't play reggae like him." And Sean wasn't kidding around. He's like, "You're going to play that?" I'm like, "Damn it. Fine, I'll talk to him." Now, I went around him. So, in the meeting, there was the bartender guy I was talking to, the owner, and there was a guy on the side, a chubby guy with curly hair. He seemed like he was a little bit more sensitive. His name was Mario, I believe. And I talked to him. I said, "Do me a favor, Mario. I called the nightclub. Can you come out Friday and see me at a club called Industry?" He said, "Sure." He came to the club, saw the people, listened to me and Sean Sax, and then literally in 18 hours got the call and said, "Yo, when can you start your Saturday night?" Now, there he is, Slim. Slim, I'm telling him how we started Power Bar. So begins the era of Power Bar. Bubba Kahn, Sean Sax, MC Slim. And the crew of my brothers, Soul Shock, so many promoters, Nick, Rahul, Arif, Edwin. I'm missing so many names, so many people, like a real jackass. And that was the beginning of Power Bar. Now, I think all of us know Power Bar was the staple. When it came to urban parties in the city of Toronto, nothing was coming close. There was other urban parties, and I'm not trying to knock on urban parties. And everybody has their own story of success and outside, and I know that's great, but Power Bar was a different level. Good evening, Slim. So when we started Power Bar, it was a fight. But it wasn't a fight to get going. It was a fight to stay open. And I don't think people realize how hard it was to stay open. Like, I don't think you realize how much of a fight it was to stay open. Especially. You're not old, Cindy. You're experienced. So, we said Power Bar. The problem with Power Bar was way too urban, and it was in central downtown. Right? It was the entertainment district, Adelaide Street. So it was a fight from day one. So not only did we have massive crowds turn out, packed, but we also had the cops and a lot of people on our backs the whole time. Now, here you go. You got Bubba Kahn, Sean Sachs on Friday. You got Bubba Kahn, Sean Sachs at Power Bar. And the only reason you got Power Bar, I'll tell you right now, is because of Sean Sachs. Now listen, this is not just about nights and how things are created. I'm trying to show you the importance of one particular man for a scene. Now, there's a lot of people who created a scene in the urban scene in Toronto. There's no knock on that. But I'm talking about a man by the name of Sean Sachs, whose calm demeanor, whose constant education, and his constant mentorship. He was always pushing. Sean wasn't the guy who was going to go to the nightclub. Sean wasn't the egotistical person. I can tell you I took that role pretty well. Sean was chill. Sean was always chill and was always going to be chill. Leather shoes. Rocket was another club with Carl Allen. That was a big club. Like, listen, and looking at some of the chat with you guys, it was a big thing. I mean, Power Bar was the first time I had done a show with Sean Sachs, and we did Destiny's Child. It was me, Slim, Destiny's Child, Sean Sachs, creating a movement at Power Bar. And that's where Sean elevated the game. Okay, this ain't no secret. This ain't no newsflash. Sean Sachs was 10 times better than me as a DJ. Way better than me. Understood the game better, understood the music better. But I promised him I was getting better and I was learning. And he let me learn my craft. So as much as I want to take advantage, think I was a great DJ, I was not a great DJ. In fact, some of you may think I'm still not a great DJ. It's okay by me. But the truth is, he let me own my craft. And then we learned about promotion. So I'm not going to give you the science about all that stuff. But that's how Sean affected aspects of my career. And from that point on, with Power Bar, with industry, I learned the game. Do you guys remember? Power Bar went on for about 4 or 5 years. And a big part of Power Bar, and this was a big part, and people, I don't know if people know about this about me, but Power Bar had a hip-hop floor where we killed it, me and Sean, but it also had a soca and reggae floor. And that was because of Sean Sachs as well. Sean is Trini. Sean wanted to play more of that downstairs in the main room, but the club owners weren't having it. They were not having it. I don't want reggae. I don't want soca. I don't mind the hip hop. And I can tell you this much: they said it way more colorful than that. In fact, some of you would cry with your tail between your legs the way they spoke back then. No, soca was huge back then, Stardom. Don't get it twisted. They just didn't want it downtown. So we started to do R&B and soca upstairs. And I went to a gentleman by the name of Dr. J, the Kingdom of Soca, and also the legendary Starting From Scratch went up there alongside Dr. J, and they killed it up there. So listen, guys. That Saturday night, not only did it change the game for urban stuff, but it also changed the game for me when it came to my mental state and my idea of what DJing was. At that point, DJing was just listening to somebody else, playing for somebody else, getting paid, and going home. This made it like a business. This took it to a different level. So now, we're in the midst of competing with other DJs, other nightclubs. Now, I remember I told you Sean had a side of him that was really, really, he could get to those points where if you wanted to battle him or you wanted to get into that point, he'd get into that point. But the one thing I think people know about Sean is a musician. Sean can play things. Sean plays instruments. Does anybody know in the chat? Does anybody know in the chat that Sean could rap? Does anyone know that he could rap? I'm curious. Does anyone know? Yes. So Sean could rap. So not to you. So Sean has parts on our mixtape where he raps. But listen, guys, I don't know if you know the story, but Sean Sachs was the original. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to stop the music for this. He was the original rapper on Who Let the Dogs Out. Now, some of you have seen the Who Let the Dogs Out documentary. Sean Sachs rapped on it. I barked on it. And my man Patrick from Action House produced it alongside Daryl Dark. Now, Who Let the Dogs Out? Who Let the Dogs Out was actually a booty song. Because we were playing for Buffalo. We weren't playing for here. We were playing for Buffalo. Okay, so, and that's what, and booty at the time was very, very popular. Now, Miami-based stuff, hold on, I gotta find the proper one, hold on. No, I don't have the right one here. Now, I'll be honest, I should have got you the original Who Let the Dogs Out, but I couldn't find it. So, Who Let the Dogs Out was originally done by Sean Sachs, yours truly, Patrick, and Daryl Dark. Now, is that true? That is 100% true because we went to court for it. Now, the reason I'm saying this, Sean was doing a booty rap on it. Like, this is the Baja Man. This is the cheesy version. Oh, who are we kidding? They were all cheesy. But Sean was the booty rapper, Alexa, the booty rapper. He did a rap on it, and I was like, who let the dogs out? That song was then sung by Anselm Douglas. Now, anybody know Anselm Douglas? He's from Toronto. He's also Daryl Dark's, I believe, related to him or some way, shape, or form. And Anselm Douglas did Who Let the Dogs Out, the soca version. Does anybody remember that one? Soca Monarchs, you need to remember this. Yes. So, Anselm Douglas was the first one to do Who Let the Dogs Out. And then what happened with Who Let the Dogs Out? Who Let the Dogs Out then was sold to the Baha Men for big, big money. And that was sold to Honda for big, big money. And then what happened there? Everybody went to court. Right? So to make a long story short, yes, well, the guy who produced it, Patrick, won the lawsuit against everybody, got some money, got good pay. I think he fixed up me and Sean a little bit as well. But yeah, just so you know, Sean Sachs. Yeah, so if you don't know, now you know. Sean Sachs, yeah. Who Let the Dogs Out? He was the original guy who rapped on that, and he barked with me on the track.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? I see the dance feet. Billy Fountains get out. Get back, Gruffy. Bash Gruffy. Get back, you flea infested mongrel.
Woo!
The party is on. I got
Yo, I can bark like nobody's business.
the rays coming from my eye. Walking through the prison. Digimon is breaking them down. Me and my white talk short.
Yeah, nobody knew that story. It's true as day. Now, there's somebody, I forget his name. He did a documentary on Who Let the Dogs Out. He did the story with Patrick and Who Let the Dogs Out. Patrick, sorry, his Action House. He actually messaged me, but let's face it, I just barked on it, so there's not much I could do with it. But Sean was in the production, and he rapped on it. All right, so now, so you got Rec Shop Radio changing the game, radio. Then you got Power Bar changing the game with Sean. Then you got Who Let the Dogs coming out with Sean Sachs. We're changing the game. We're in an industry where there's a lot of guys struggling to do the stuff, the music and everything out there. And then there's Battle Sean. There's Battle Sean Sachs. So there's points where we're going head to head with other DJs in the city, and it was all love. But yeah. So, you know, some people said, hey, we're commercial, we're this or that. Sean wasn't having this. So we did a mixtape. So I need to play you the beginning of the mixtape for a second. This is Sean. I love when Sean was like this. So when you got started with Sean, if something happened with Sean where you tried to go after or you tried to go after the crew, he wasn't having that. He was ready to go. He was ready to work. So you may not appreciate this, but I appreciate it because I remember where his mindset was when we did this introduction. So here's a little intro of Sean was. Hold on, here we go.
Here's a tape of the latest crew on the cutting edge of hardcore rap. That's the most innovative stuff.
Kill them immediately.
Oh, what? Y'all didn't know? Y'all thought we just played like radio edits on Rec Shop Radio? Look what y'all made us do now, huh?
Hold on. I got to take that from the top again. Here's a tape of the
latest crew on the cutting edge of hardcore rap.
Sorry, this is a tape.
Innovative stuff.
Kill them immediately.
Oh, what? Y'all didn't know? Y'all thought we just played like radio edits on Rec Shop Radio? Look what y'all made us do now, huh? Now we gotta come rough for the year 2G. All that talking, all that yapping y'all was doing. Where's your lip at now, son? From Kahn, Sean Sachs. This how we do. Check it out. Y'all better get it right. Y'all better get it right. Come on. Kahn, Sean Sachs. When we bring the funky tracks, y'all fools best to just relax.
CC, back on the block, Jay-Z, fucker from the rock. Solo on that ass, but it's still the same. Land be the place where I serve the thing. Niggas was struggling till the birthday came. And then we got the hustling, murdering things. I dipped in my stash, floats on a chain. Now I'm Titanic, icebergs the name. Lead players on injured reserve, hurt the game. The best in the world insane. I dig down, chicks all immersed in my fame. Jig up in dumps and slick bricks, first chain. The God send you back to the earth from which you came. I'm faking
Sean Sachs.
cane. Ladies don't know me, said I heard he's fame. Well, guess what, mommy? I heard the same. You heard the name. What's my motherfucking name?
Can you do me a favor? If you subscribe to yours truly, Bubba Kahn, can you please put up the Sean Sachs emote right now?
What's my motherfucking name?
Please put up the Sean Sachs emote right now, please.
We had all brand niggas trying to hang with the click. Flossing like you gang with the click. But would you bang with the click if they were thick? Or do you just rock dick? The player, I don't know you niggas. Tell me who you with. If you ain't with the squad, you bout to get scarred. Sucker boys running mouth. Real niggas running yard round here. We blow trees. Don't fuck with OBs. You didn't cry, niggas might be the police. Aight.
You got your block on fire, you remain in the cheese. Until the moment you expire, you know what it is. To make nothing out of something, you handle your biz. You don't be crying, and it's something you will give a chance. You got your block on fire, you remain in the cheese. Until the moment you expire, you know what it is. To make nothing out of something, you handle your biz. You don't be crying, and it's something holla, holla. Anybody that's ready to get dollar, dollar. Holla, holla. Come on, if you go to me, holla, holla. It's murder.
Yo, Sean didn't mess around, man. Listen, when we grew up back then, listen, we were all full of egos back then. So as much as Sean was a sensitive guy, he could fight and battle with the best of them. Now I'm going to show you something. I was trying to put together a lot of pictures and stuff like that. But do you guys realize that we don't, like, we had to, the pictures that you're seeing, some of the old ones, they're actually like, you know, like film developed. Now I have, do you guys remember one of these? What is this, like a hard drive disc, whatever the hell it is? I have so much footage of this and floppy disk of me and Sean Sachs. So I need someone to get me something, whatever. What is this called again? Stardom, do you have it? I need something. I need to put this in something. So I can, yeah. Blocks Photography has it. Paulie Lopez. There's so much. This is what I needed. I was looking for this. There's a couple of these ones with a lot of pictures. Walmart does it? No. This is back in the day. People put stuff on this for me. Mixes and different things on it. So this is stuff. The footage is on something else. On 8Dat and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna message you afterwards. Now, I think it's important.
Like I said before, Bubba Kahn, Sean Sachs, this is how we do 99 to Y2K. When you in your ride, if you at home, if you feeling this tape, let us know. Check it out. Hospitable, physical, the shit's getting critical. The way cats fight it is despicable, pitiful, unoriginal, the shit is miserable. I'm a
I need a time machine.
Damn, it's a miracle. Thought y'all were veterans. Which flow is ill.
I know what it's called.
Now you in the game.
Now listen. The one thing about Sean Sachs, and I'll tell you, this is where we bumped heads. This is where me and Sean bumped heads. As we grew older, and I got a little bit more comfortable with different things, Sean really, really never forgot the art of being a real DJ.
You want to die? You want war? You sell raw? You want a war? You want talk? You sell crack?
All right, I'm going to do that floppy disk thing. And he always wanted to play new music, and he was such a fan of different types of music.
You wanna fight that? That's the sound of the police.
No, I don't know if anybody knows this, but on Rec Shop Radio, it was the Sean Sachs show for me for the first 2 years. And I can tell you the scariest time in my DJ career is when Sean Sachs left Rec Shop Radio. And this is where I'm talking about when it comes to ego. We're running the city. We're doing parties non-stop. We're all over the place. Now, for some people to be like, well, you know, this for a 20-year-old, we were killing it. We were smashing it. And Sean didn't see eye to eye with Daryl Dark or BOK because we had to play a certain selection of music. Now, music was great, don't get me wrong, but he really wanted to expand what he was trying to do. So this is why I'm going to say this is the difference. Now, a lot of DJs will say they don't sell out, they will sell out. I don't even know what selling out is anymore. It's just working. But back then, it was a bit of a different breed. So Sean just wanted to be himself. He wanted to play the music he wanted to play. He wanted to vibe it. He wasn't getting the chance. And it wasn't happening. So what happened was really simple. Sean's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Sean's like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I said, Sean, we're at the clubs. We're getting paid. The ladies are there, Sean. The ladies are there. Everything's going on. He's not right, Bubba. It's not right. And that's what I'm explaining about when it comes to ego. It didn't make a difference to him because he wanted to stay true to himself. And people, I'll tell you right now, it wasn't about that for me. I was too young, too dumb. But Sean stayed true to, and Sean left. Now, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Sean left. Sean Sachs left. Sean Sachs wasn't around. So a good friend of mine by the name of Channel 9 came aboard Rec Shop Radio. Carlos, you remember that? Oh, Carlos, who the hell saw Eye to Eye with Daryl Dark anyways? So that's what I'm talking about. Channel 9 came in, and I love my brother Channel 9. That's why I go back with Channel 9. Channel 9 was another legend who came in. And that's the thing. Sean just wanted to be Sean. And I think over time, that's the difference with when you see an artist, a DJ, musician now. That's why I don't consider, Sean a DJ. I consider him an artist. He's a performer. He understood all spectrums of the music, all genre. He understood how to break a song down. He understood it all. So I'll tell you, that's what I envied about him. Listening to a man who understood all facets of it. And the fact that he could walk away without hesitation. I'm talking no hesitation. Without problems. And he said to me, don't worry, I'll see you Saturday. No issues. Saturday was fine. I'm like, I can't do this without you. He's like, you'll be just fine. Now, I was now a lot of people suffer from anxiety nowadays, and it's a serious problem. Back then, whether you call it anxiety, whether you call it stage fright, I was never comfortable in playing in front of people. I just was never comfortable with it. Now, I don't know if people get nervous, and I think as a DJ, if you really want to be a performer, you want to be on. So for me, it was different. I was just nervous. I was afraid to mess up. I was afraid to screw up. I was afraid that people wouldn't like me. It was just a different game for me. And Sean is the one who helped me balance that. And that's how, when he left, I was able to do it. And I think it's important. I think that as we go along now, and as anybody does what they did, everybody has someone they remember for some reason in their life that's helped them. Your mother, your father, your brother, a best friend. Sean Sachs is the one guy who stood by me at the beginning of my career. When anybody else nowadays would have just laughed, would have just said, shut up. Oh, I'm doing this on myself. I'm doing this on my own. I'm not giving you any advice. he did not stop with the advice. I can't tell you another human being I've met in this business, and I've been in this business a long fucking time. There's not another human being I've met in this business who stayed true to themselves like Sean Sachs. And I'm talking about me, myself as well. There's no denying the fact that in this business, I've never been, I've never been a saint. I'm not that guy who I can say was perfect along the way. But Sean Sachs never stayed, he never strayed from who he was from day one. And that's rare, man. Like as a DJ, like for all my DJs in the chat, that's a rare gift to not change. And I know a lot of you DJs in here, whether you know them or you don't know them, like for me, it was something I didn't understand at the time. And now I'm not going to get the opportunity or the chance to get it back. It hurts, but it's the truth. So it is important for me to do this. And like I said, whether you understood it or understand the scene or even care for it or not, a man like Sean Sachs is truly foundation. A man like Sean Sachs is someone that if you had the chance to meet in the pleasure of meeting, you were honored. The fact that our paths crossed and he was the ultimate reason I was here doing what I was doing means the world. And I think please don't lose sight of that. So when you take the time now and you're looking at DJ friends and people that you respect and you admire, do me a favor. Just tell them. This is not one of those conversations I'm trying to turn into like a sad note, but just tell them. I think it's important. I think it's important that we DJs tell each other, listen, we're all going to have egos. Shit, I had a ton of it. I still have an ego once in a while. But like, if anything I learned from him, it took me time to understand his teachings. But that was a huge part. And a huge part of that teaching was something I put into a school called Scratch Lab. I did it with 200 partners. And that's another element of my career. I created a school with 2 other guys, a full DJ school with turntables, 25 turntables. We had the curriculum. Myself, DJ Grouch, the legendary DJ Grouch, wrote the curriculum, got it approved by the Board of Education. And part of that curriculum on reading the crowd, teaching people about music, understanding how to mix, was taught from Sean Sachs. So his teachings have never left me. But this is what I'm trying to express to people, and I just really wanted to get it out. He's the reason like all these things have happened in my life, and the thing is that I just can't say enough. So it breaks my heart that I didn't tell him when he was here. Now, when I saw him in 2018, 2019, I was happier than a pig in shit. And yes, I said some things to him then. He was laughing really hard. And at the time, I'm going to tell you something that really breaks my heart. I said, hey, Sean, we got to do a party together. And what pisses me off is when he left, I said to the club owner at the time I was at, I said, that's my partner, Sean Sachs. He's the reason I'm a DJ. And I said, we got to bring him in here. He needs to come here for a gig. He needs to come here for a gig, and me and him are got to play. And the club owner said to me, he looked at me, and he said, oh, yeah, that's amazing. Oh, amazing, Bubba. So, yeah. He's like, so how many people are we going to do? Like, what do you mean, how many people are we going to do? He's like, well, if I put you and Sean Sachs together, how many people are we going to do? And at that point, I was like, I don't know if we'll do any people, but I think it is just something I want to do. And he said, oh, okay, and he walked away. That's my point. Right then and there, it should have been, it wasn't a matter about how much money we were going to make or how much people we were going to do. It's about me, who I should have stood up and shown the class and respect he deserved. And I didn't do that. Now, Am I pissed off about it? Yeah, I'm pissed off about it. It's a stupid story about a guy who deserves a lot more. Now, it's not about whether people remember us or whether people like us. It's about respecting what people have done in the past. So, in that sense, we didn't do anything, but a good friend of mine, E-Man, did a party. And it's funny. You go back from doing everything together, touring universities, doing the radio shows, doing concerts, going to Buffalo, New York, doing parties, doing radio shows, doing mixtapes, doing all that stuff. And then you end up just doing a party together with just you and him DJing together. And nobody really, besides E-Man, I don't think too many people really cared. So I promised myself, after that day, there's biz, then there's art, Paulie Lopez. You're right. And I think the difference between me, Sean, is biz and art. I think that's right. So when people ask me, hey, what happened? Nothing happened. I happened, and I got way into the business. Sean was never about the business. All the club bookings, everything. He was chilled. He was relaxed. He was cool to come for the ride. But it's amazing how some people don't know when to go or when to even come. They don't know when to go, come, any of that part. Sean knew when it was time. He's like, okay. And we reached a fork in the road. Two different paths. I'll be honest, I went for more business. He went for more art. And Sean still remained a top-notch DJ doing lots of big things. But he wasn't by my side anymore, and he was doing other things. Now, we talked. He was happy, but I can tell you right now what I wouldn't give to go back to those days and play something with him again. So, I'm going to get long-winded by all this stuff. Do me a favor. As a DJ, as an artist, as a friend, family, brother, sister, whatever you want to call it, just take that time. I have memories, I have mixtapes, I have pictures, I have all those things, but I'm never going to get back to tell him thank you. So, Sean Sachs, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Sean Sachs, the X-Men Sean Sachs, thank you so much for being the legend you are. Thank you for making me who I am today as a DJ. Without you, my brother, without you, I wouldn't be here. And without your guidance, your love, your mentorship, there's a lot of people who wouldn't be in this game as long as they have because of you. You'll be sorely missed by so many, but you'll never be forgotten, man. You're a true legend of the game. You're a foundation DJ. For me, you will be my ultimate mentor. You'll always be the dude that made me who I am. My family knows you. Everyone will know you for the rest of my days. And whatever you've taught me, and you've taught me so much, I'm not going to change that. I'll keep those teachings going because those teachings are what made me who I am. And to this day, that won't change. Sean Sachs, I love you, brother. Thank you for being the dude you are. Thank you for honoring me with your presence, your friendship, your guidance, your love. And to the rest of you guys, thank you for listening to me. Just get some stuff off my chest to say the things I need this legend to hear. Please say a prayer for his family, his mom, all of that. And to the rest of you guys, I hope you have a lovely evening. We're going to raid to my brother, Ritzeroni. I'm just going to let this mixtape play a little bit, but I thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Did you ever think that you would be this rich? Did you ever think that you would have these hits? Did you ever think that you would be the Don? Have a crib with the 50-acre lot? Did you ever think that you would be this paid? Where the times when your ass was real afraid? Did you ever think that you would sell out tours? Have a show with me? Hey yo, now who knows poverty like Robert and me?
Kim, did you ever think you'd be dancing and vibing with me? Kim, did you ever think you'd put some Ferrari blasting ICD with 5 TVs and DVDs? Come on, ride with me. Hey, man, you can fly like me. Honey, you heard about the style I got. We from the wildest blocks with police. Make arrests, carry heat, wear best. We ghetto. Never thought we'd ever reach this level. Our people behind metal. The streets could have had us, but now we live lavish. Our freaks be the baddest. Bust them out, my maid's changing sheets on the mattress. It's deep cause I never thought I'd reach this status. Walk around and grown women stop and look. They recognize me, no longer hide me pocketbooks. Hate me now, cause I ain't gonna stop, you're stuck. The remix is on Kelly, please rock the hook.
Did you ever think that you would be this rich? Did you ever think that you would have these hits? Did you ever think that you would be the Don? Have a crib with the 50-acre lawn? Did you ever think that you would be this paid? But in times when your ass was real free. Did you ever think that you would sell out tours? Have a show with 50 million views? Ever think? You ever know? Ever think? You ever know? Ever think? You ever know? Ever think? You ever know?
I wanna see y'all who wanna play with me. Wave your hands across the land and we family. Say hot damn, hot damn, we wanna jamboree. That's what my beats here. I stand for you cause you stand for me. I know I jam, Well, oh damn, I know I jam, Oh, Bori, I know I jam, Well, oh damn, why don't you jamboree for me? Kaboom, kaboom, never know. Came on in late limbs and Timbs. Broke brains, smoke stems, dogs with big rims. For the real and the raw, know who duck from the law. I never kill for the thrill, but I cut for the call. Smoking with a hooter, get better prices from Luda. Shake my shell with the shooters, lead a Luga with Duda. Some say modeling and acting, maybe treacherous selling. While I'm yelling for some felon with my fucking melon. Booyah! Color heated, too ill for them to beat it. Most cheated, most needed. You best believe it. This ticker takes stand for me, stand for me. You damn Baba Kahn, bring it on, remix. I know I jam, Well, damn, I know I jam, Come on, I know I jam, Well, damn, why don't you jamboree for me? Again, come on. We put it down since the days of high school. And everywhere we love, we boom. No, it's about to raise our stock. Rock about what we got, nigga, we came to rock. We blew the spot, taking the streets to pop. You keep the style, we're wild and go out chop. Using them last few years as my evidence. Niggas been trying to duplicate the mixture ever since. Jimmy been found your reprimand.
We got about 9 minutes left on this mixtape. So I'm gonna let this mixtape run for 9 minutes. Then we're gonna rate to my boy Easy LD. Thank you so much. Gonna let this run for 8 minutes. The one and only Sean Sachs, the legendary X-Man. We're just gonna let it run for 8 minutes. Then we rate Easy LD. Peace out. Love ya.
Miss me, then whip out the titties. And from the kitties, throw me fitties and bundles of honey. It makes every hater run it, drunk and blunt it. Now go to how this nigga done it. Can't scratch or cut ya. No matter what you make them wanna come and touch ya. The Punani Russia like Usher. I know I jam, Well, oh damn, I know I jam, Oh, Bori, I know I jam, Well, oh damn, why don't you jamboree for me? Yes, indeed. I know I jam, Well, oh damn, I know I jam, Oh, Bori, I know I jam, Well, oh damn, why don't you jamboree for me? Yes, indeed.
So often you have to let the general public know you can still blow shit up.
You heard? Has Music Volume 2, DJ Sean Sachs, DJ Baba Kahn, put it on for y'all. Then you nods. Check it out. Come on. Come on. Come on, bounce. Come on. Come on, bounce. Come on, make up your mind. Come on. Check
check it out.
I'm the most wanted baby father. Save the drama. We toast when I wine and dine you. All you need is me. I won't stress you, but bless you. Mentally and sexual. We both intellectual. Can't forget how I met you. You thought I was the boxer. Prince not seen, but I'm the mobster. Nas with Queens. And when I got you, you riding with me. You keep asking, when do you have time for me? I'm never free, always on the move. Business oriented. Lifestyle expensive. Attract women. You wanna search my pockets and act all wild. Say I hurt your heart. Ask how could I smile? Wanna call back all my numbers. Star 690. Check my car for rubbers, but quit trying before you find what you're looking for and get the crime. You always saying what you gonna do if you catch me lying.
You won't see me tonight. You won't see me tomorrow. I'll be gone by daylight. And you'll be so full of self-love. You gon' tell all your friends how you go, then I got no. But you won't see me tonight. But you won't see me tomorrow.
Caramel kisses of Jezebel's sister. I feel no guilt when I twist ya. Turn the other cheek when I see the next street with ya. You got your name on his lease. Copy his keys. Got your low spot where you rest your wit piece. Go ahead and live, baby. I know you hit, lady. You pays me when you got the day free. But I be out with my peeps and them system jeeps. You wanna lay up in the streets of presidential suites. Like I massage you while you massage me, mommy. But can you hang with a young man that's doing his thing? Speak up. I wanna know if you can keep up. Timberland boots for girls with the creased up. Baggy sweatsuits, mystery, what's underneath them? They put my eyes on me. You call me when you're lonely, but I like to make the baddest girls wait. I got G, baby. Back, baby. I'm out of town, baby. Back, baby. I'm out of town, baby. Diamonds off, baby. Back, baby.
You won't see me tonight. You won't see me tonight. I'll be gone by daylight. And you'll be so full of self-love. You gon' tell all your friends how you look, then I got no. But you won't see me tonight.
And wait for my just don't care. And if you like the shit, listen out the pimp shit. Everybody let me hear you say, oh yeah. Now throw your hands in the air. And wait for my shit, just don't care. And if you like the shit, listen out the pimp shit. Everybody let me hear you say, oh yeah.
Y'all do not wanna play with us. Y'all don't wanna play with us.
Come fast, went out like Helly Hansen. Mr. Brisk guy, you would never catch me dancing. Often prancing, only in a mansion. In the party, I'm high drunk, I see you glancing. Never blow my cool, even if it's jamming. If it's a bad thing, I got the cannon. Cop lick shots, leave them where they standing. You can call the cops, I never get ran in. Call Blake C, y'all get the understanding. Who my man is, who the fam is. All that bullshit you talk candid. We on the planet, it's a definite. Over money, repping it, Armageddon it. Destroy everything when we setting it. You're delicate, far away in the country where you better get hesitant. Y'all need to get with some veterans.
Come on. Let's go. Okay. But no way, Miss Goddamn. You can't stand. And I ain't even in my head. And it was my man in the land. In the damage, they know I'm ready to come and feel it as I'm saying. I'm not a baby and so tough. All punch out, kick nothing, bitch. I'm known for jam. So very man. With a mean ass style, I'm a bad vocabulary. I bust through and through and through distraction. Twist and listen, blow the room and press. Don't flip flop, flip flop back. Niggas come and turn and go and get the cannon and you got back. Level up bar, and be no fuck bar. And me and the team, the rest of the niggas a big truck bar. Fuck that bar, run that bar. Bitch, when I'm in the city, you can't come back, boy. I bring flames to a fall on fire. Wash them up and ring them out now. Throw them in the dry. I hit the door, I'm blowing them like Southern Bang. And they always trying to find something to say about the government. I bust up, getting bricks up. Dog, good shit, better run for. Go out the way you can walk on the side of the yard for. They respect me for taking it so respect me the leg, not to represent my neck in the wood. Like that. Yeah. Let's cut our hands high. If it don't fall off in the club, you can't rock. If it ain't 808 in the trunk, it ain't loud. Get the round out, neck of the woods, you better stop. For the people on the block, wanna show you where to drop. If it don't fall off in the club, you can't rock. If it ain't 808 in the trunk, it ain't loud. Get the round out, neck of the woods, you better stop. For the people on the block, wanna show you where to drop.
The nigga that spit that street fire. Mr. I'm playing big boy, taking them out of the ball like Mark McGuire. Soul side, so. Your round is small like Coco. Your bitch made like Dorothy, you belong in the sorority. I'ma call you Coco. I candy. Don't sing a song with Brandy. Put grinding and double time. And when did you fancy? I'm taking my 13 shot of Pueblo, go my style is drunken. And you know we doing the big beat, okay, yeah, it's gonna be bumping. Give you something to beat the block with the cops with. My stamina's incredible, so I'm trying to stop this. The DUNGEON family, merrily. Life is what I dream, I mean, and I because it's scaring me. But I live, gotta give 1% above the red shit. Let it fast, gon' first thing, you know that. You know that East Point never stop like that. All the way to Decatur. If it don't pop off in the club, you can't rock. If it ain't 808 in the trunk, it ain't loud. Get the round out, nigga, the woods, you better stop. But the people on the block wanna show you where to drop. If it don't pop off in the club, you can't rock. If it ain't 808 in the trunk, it ain't loud. Get the round out, nigga, the woods, you better stop. But the people on the block wanna show you where to drop.
Want to send mad love and shouts out to our sponsors, Echo,
Nubia Nation,
Collections America,
Soul Shock,
and of course, Big Groove Entertainment.
We'll see you on the other side, y'all. Flip it over.